found myself in a nightmare of a situation recently, and I'm still trying to process it all. My girlfriend and I had been together for 4 years. We met in college, moved in together 2 years ago, and things had been going pretty well. At least that's what I thought. We had talked about marriage and kids, the whole future together. I thought we were solid. Then everything came crashing down. On Thursday night, I got off work early. My boss let us go because we secured a big client. To celebrate, I decided to surprise my girlfriend with her favorite sushi. But when I got home, everything changed. I walked in quietly using the key to our apartment. I was about to set the sushi down when I heard something unmistakable. Sounds coming from our bedroom. I stood frozen for a moment, the bag of sushi growing heavy in my hand. I could have walked away, pretended I didn't know, but I couldn't. I had to see for myself. When I opened the bedroom door, I saw her with another man. I didn't recognize him. They didn't even notice me at first. Cleared my throat. They both jumped. I asked calmly, "What is this?" My girlfriend scrambled to cover herself. Her face showed no guilt, just annoyance. She snapped, "You're supposed to be at work," as if I was the one doing something wrong. The guy quickly grabbed his clothes and mumbled that he didn't know I was her boyfriend, but honestly, I didn't care about him. I was focused on her. "How long has this been going on?" I asked. "It was just once." "Get over it," she said, rolling her eyes. Then she added something that cut deep. "He's better in bed anyway." I was stunned, but I didn't respond. I just nodded, turned, and left. That night, I stayed at a friend's place, turning off my phone. I spent hours just staring at the ceiling, feeling numb. The next morning, I woke up with a sense of clarity. I knew exactly what I needed to do. First, I called work and took a personal day. Then I contacted our landlord, explained what had happened, and gave notice to terminate our lease early. The apartment was in my name only, so I was able to handle it quickly. I also called the utility companies and got everything disconnected. By noon, I had taken care of it all. Next, I made sure our finances were separated. We didn't have joint accounts, but I removed her as an authorized user on my credit card. She'd been using it without my permission, but now that was over. I went to a coffee shop to process everything, ignoring the flood of texts and calls from her. Around 4 p.m., I briefly turned my phone on and saw 17 missed calls, 36 texts, and 9 voicemails. I didn't listen to any of them. I just texted my buddy to ask if I could stay at his place for a few more days. He said the couch was ready. By 6 p.m., I was back at the apartment packing my things. I knew she'd be at yoga. I packed quickly, left my key on the counter with a note that the lease ended in 30 days, utilities were cut off, and good luck. Just as I pulled out of the parking lot, I saw her car pull in. Our eyes met for a brief moment. Confusion on her face, but I didn't stop. The next morning, I woke up to 43 emails from her. She was frantic, sending everything from angry accusations to desperate pleas. She couldn't take a shower because the water was shut off, couldn't watch Netflix because the internet was gone, couldn't even order food because the card was declined. The last email at 2:37 a.m. was a simple, "Please call me. I'm sorry. We need to talk." I didn't respond. I wasn't sure if I was still in shock or if I was just numb to everything. I didn't feel rage or heartbreak. I just felt nothing. A week has passed and things have gotten worse for her. I'm still staying at my buddy's place and I've started looking for my own apartment. Work has been understanding. My boss told me to take as much time as I needed. As for my ex, everything is unraveling fast. I wasn't completely honest in my last post. When I called the landlord, I didn't just ask about the lease. I gave notice to terminate it early. Our agreement had a clause allowing it for a fee equal to 1 month's rent, which I paid up front. The landlord gave her 30 days to find somewhere else. She went to the leasing office in tears but discovered she couldn't afford the place without me. She didn't have the credit or income to qualify. It gets worse. The guy she cheated with is married with a pregnant wife. I found this out when she showed up at my office after a few days of me not answering her calls. She caused a scene, screaming that I ruined her life over one mistake. Someone recorded it, and when I watched it later, I heard her mention the guy's name. A quick Facebook search confirmed everything. He worked with her and he had a pregnant wife. I decided to send his wife a message. Just the facts, no drama. She was devastated but grateful for the information. I even sent screenshots of my ex's emails, which showed the affair had been going on for months. Not just a one-time thing like she'd claimed. Yesterday, all hell broke loose. My ex called me 19 times in 2 hours. When I finally picked up, she screamed at me about ruining her life. She said, "Do you have any idea what you've done?" I calmly told her, "You made your choices." She broke down crying about how sorry she was, how she didn't know what to do now. She even asked me to turn the utilities back on and let her move back in. This morning, I got an email from her with a list of demands. She wants to move back in, have me pay her rent, turn the utilities back on, give her access to her credit card again, and talk to the guy's wife and tell her it was all a misunderstanding. She also wants me to explain to her boss that she made a mistake. I haven't responded to any of it, and I don't plan to. My friend thinks I'm being too harsh and should at least help her find a new place. Maybe he's right, but every time I think about it, I remember her smirking and telling me the guy was better in bed. Some wounds cut too deep for kindness. It's been about 2 weeks since my last update, and things have settled into a strange new normal. First, the good news. I've moved into my own apartment. It's smaller than the one I had with my ex, but the location is much better, closer to work, and I even have a rooftop deck for my morning coffee. A friend and a few others helped me move in last weekend, and it's starting to feel like home. Now for what's been going on with my ex. After I ignored her request for support, she sent me a long email. This time, it wasn't just about her mistakes. Suddenly, it was my fault too. I didn't compliment her enough, I worked too much, and I didn't meet her emotional needs. Classic blame shifting. I didn't respond. 2 days later, her sister called. We'd always gotten along, so I took the call. She said she wasn't picking sides but asked if I could help with the rent, claiming my ex was really struggling. She acknowledged that my ex had made a huge mistake but thought it was extreme that I'd cut off all financial support. I told her there was no financial support to cut off. We'd always split expenses. The only thing I paid fully was the internet, which I realized she had been telling her family was all on me. The sister went silent, and I found out my ex had been portraying herself as financially dependent on me for years, even telling the family that the apartment was too expensive for her when it was actually her idea to live in a fancy place with all the upgrades. After that, her sister texted to apologize, saying she needed to have a serious talk with her sister. Then came the bombshell. The married coworker my ex had been seeing was under investigation. His pregnant wife had gone to HR with evidence of the affair, including screenshots I'd sent. Both the coworker and my ex had been using company time for their meetings, which violated company policy. They were both placed on administrative leave. I found out when my ex showed up at my apartment drunk and mascara running down her face, pounding on my door at 11 p.m. She was yelling, saying I ruined her life and that she'd probably be fired with nowhere to live in 2 weeks. She tried to push past me, demanding I help her, but I refused. I told her I wasn't her solution anymore and closed the door. The next day, I got a text from her sister apologizing again and saying my ex was staying with her for now. I didn't respond, and things went quiet for about 3 weeks. Then I ran into a mutual friend who told me that my ex and the married guy were both fired and the pregnant wife was filing for divorce, naming my ex as part of the reason. I didn't feel vindicated, though. Her life was falling apart, but I was just tired of the whole situation. I didn't want to keep thinking about her or the drama. I was focusing on setting up my new place, bought some plants which my ex had always thought were too much maintenance, and slowly started rebuilding my life. Now, over 2 months later, a lot has changed for the better. I got a promotion at work with a salary bump and new responsibilities, which I'm enjoying. My new apartment feels like home now, and I'm settling into my routine. I even started cooking actual meals instead of living on takeout. As for my ex, I got an email from her out of the blue with the subject, closure. At first, I almost deleted it, but curiosity got the better of me. It wasn't what I expected. She apologized for everything, admitted to lying, manipulating, and taking me for granted. She said she was in therapy and facing uncomfortable truths about herself. The part that got to me was when she said that every time she betrayed me, it wasn't just cheating. It was the lies, the manipulation, the way she took advantage of my stability. She ended by saying she didn't expect forgiveness or a response. I sat with the email for a few days and finally I replied with a simple, "Thank you for the apology. I wish you well in your journey forward." That was the closure I needed. I haven't heard from her since. Through mutual friends, I learned that she's still staying with her sister, but has a job interview in another city. As for the married guy, he tried to reconcile with his wife, but she went through with the divorce. Their baby was born last week. As for me, I've started dating again, nothing serious yet, just casual stuff. But I met someone interesting at a friend's birthday party. We talked for hours and have plans to have dinner tomorrow. I'm nervous, but in a good way. I still think about my ex sometimes, usually when something reminds me of a memory or when I pass a place we used to go. But the pain has faded, and I don't feel that sharp stab of betrayal anymore. Just a faint ache that continues to disappear. I think someone's right when they say the opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. I'm finally getting there. Thanks to everyone who followed my story. Writing these posts helped me process everything, and your comments reminded me I wasn't crazy for feeling the way I did. Life goes on, and surprisingly, it's looking pretty good from here. For those asking, yes, I'm good now. The date went great. No, I don't miss her. And for those saying I was too harsh, nah.